Hello my lovelies, TigerLily here, and today we're playing a game called The Testament of Sherlock Holmes. And for those of you who don't know, I love Sherlock Holmes. Like, I have read, I don't even know how many different Sherlock Holmes stories. I've watched all the movies they've made. I love the TV show Sherlock. I have a little bit of an obsession with mysteries. Like, I've read Miss Marple, I've read Hercule Poirot, I've read basically anything Agatha Christie's written. I've read, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, obviously. I can't talk today. It's fine. Just ignore the fact that I can't pronounce shit, and we'll be okay. It's totally fine. But I'm really excited about this game. I saw it on Steam. My boyfriend had it, and I was like, okay, I want to kind of check this out because this looks really cool, and I'm finally getting around to it now. I meant to like a month ago and I just kept putting it off and putting it off, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down and record this game because it looks awesome and I want to share it. So yes, we're gonna do a new game. Ooh. Until the frog that looked like Septic Sam. Like Septic Eye Sam. You wanna hear a kitty?
Yeehaw! Oh.
Graphics may be a little lacking, but I like it.
Ah! What's this? No. Ba ba boop boop. La la la.
Watson. It's Watson.
Ooh.
What have we got going on here?
Oh, look! It's a book! Maybe it's a book about pirates with a treasure map. No, I don't think so. I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle.
She's got a point. You always start from the beginning.
And so I decided to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my life thus far.
It all began early one morning in 1898, when Sherlock Holmes invited me to accompany him on a visit to the Marquis of Conyngham.
Marquis. Right? That's a bit of a zoom in. Just me. Is it just me,
Watson,
or does
my
he
dear
kinda look
fellow,
like,
we can now go and inform the Marquis that we have found the Samoan necklace, and very much faster than Inspector Baines, too, which pleases me.
Have you really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has contradicted him.
After all these years of accompanying you upon your investigations, I thought that by now I should be reasonably capable of following your train of thought. But in this particular case, I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
Ah, you see, but you do not observe, Watson. There lies the difference. It is a matter of course.
A matter of course? In the middle of the night, when everyone is fast asleep, the service bell within that room rings out and alerts the servants. They dress quickly and come running, but the door is locked and there is a strong smell of burning from within. A few seconds later, the master of the house himself, the robbed Marchioness's husband, the Marquis of Conyngham, arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
Alrighty then. Oh, I get to play as Sherlock. Ooh, me likeys. So, broken showcase and click on it.
This window was cut with a diamond. A clean, discreet piece of
Oh, that got really
This
quiet.
is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
Hang on, let me turn the volume up a little bit. That got really quiet. Let's try that again. We can look at that.
This window was cut with
That's
a
better.
diamond. A clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
Tweezers? Could have pulled it out with tweezers. Okay.
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
Sherlock, I'm not trying to make you...
A mark
There we
undoubtedly
go.
made by a diamond. Someone tried to cut the glass, but he was interrupted.
Therefore, the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted.
Doing what? There we go. Oh. The walking is difficult because you won't stop walking. So that's a little annoying. Near the piano, some music scores are on the floor. Activate an item by selecting it in your inventory or directly in the game. Use the magnifying glass on the score. There we go.
Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano.
Ah. There's what kind of looks like an ink splotch. Page 4. Page 3.
These sooty prints were left by a tiny hand.
I don't understand why these music scores are covered with soot.
I'll see. There we go. Let's see. Matches. I guess we don't really need those yet. Faster. Left shift. Space. Ooh.
This draft screen makes an ideal hiding place.
As the theft was committed at night, I conclude that the thief hid himself behind the draft screen and waited until he was alone in the room.
Ooh, interesting.
Strange, there aren't any prints, yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
What if there was a carpet or such things? No, stop walking, Sherlock.
These documents are not very interesting, even though they're addressed to the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself.
That candle.
There we go.
It must have fallen from the chandelier. Not very well kept, this aquarium. I can see a dead fish floating on the surface.
Poor fishy. Nothing there.
Heading towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then caught fire.
But why didn't he try to put the fire out at once?
Maybe he did try to put the fire out and he couldn't.
Strange. There are some objects here that have been knocked over.
The fire started here, just beneath the bell pull.
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started.
Footprints.
Interesting.
You are not going to get on your knees to examine them.
There is no need. It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire.
Don't know what other clues there are to look at. Unless I'm missing something really important. Maybe the door.
When the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
This door is very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by the servants.
Interesting.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, you're already here.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry, always in the nick of time. Ah, but I know that satisfied expression, Mr. Holmes. Have you already solved the case?
Of course he has.
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen. An acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think so.
The only explanation is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I'm pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes. Very well then, explain.
Dr. Watson was correct when he mentioned acrobatics, but he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
I don't know. Because he is very small? Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly. Because he is small. Small and remarkably agile.
You're thinking of a monkey?
And a trained monkey at that, without a doubt. A LEONTOPITHECUS ROSALIA from Central America.
Excuse me?
The animal had been hidden inside the room for several hours, calmly awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure for which he had been trained. The monkey emerged from his hiding place and used the point of a diamond to open the glass cabinet and steal the necklace. He headed across to the window by the chimney, but knocked over the stool, which in turn knocked aside the fire guard and started the fire. The frightened monkey jumped from the chimney by swinging from the bell pull, thus alerting the house servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor, before hiding inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle. Finally, the servants and the Marquis entered the room, leaving the door open while they put out the fire. It was during the confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway. As simple as that.
A brilliant explanation. Bravo, Holmes.
And the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
We have searched the room from top to bottom, Holmes. How were we unable to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this affair.
What victim? No one is dead?
Yes, Watson. A poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious necklaces in England.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier.
It's in the fish tank.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now.
There we go.
Marquis, here is your necklace, intact.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Mr. Holmes, this brilliant demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the authenticity of your jewel?
No, I recognize it. I've spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Good. I will return it to its box and...
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times?
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
There,
Of course.
the necklace is in its box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
We solved a mystery. Which is always fun. I love how intricate these stories get. Like, they're fantastic.
This morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
Outrageous. How dare they? Alright then. Anything else to do in here? Doesn't look to be.
Read the paper, Holmes.
I'm trying to. There we go. Sherlock Holmes at the home of the Marquess of Conyngham? I'm gonna say Conyngham. If I'm wrong, don't shoot me. The investigation is a fiasco. Yesterday, the celebrated detective Sherlock Holmes was invited to the manor of the Marquess of Conyngham to supply his conclusions following his investigation into the disappearance of the priceless Samoan necklace. It should be recalled that the lady called in the detective after the police appeared flummoxed in the face of the astonishing circumstances surrounding the theft. Indeed, the valuable piece of jewelry disappeared while the door to the room in which it was displayed was locked. The alarm was raised by the servants, alerted by the room's service bell ringing out during the night. When the Marquis, I hate when people say that wrong, but technically it's supposed to be pronounced Marquis. The only person in possession of the key opened the door. Everyone rushed in to extinguish a fire that had started before it was noticed that the necklace had mysteriously vanished. The most astonishing factor is that no thief was found within the room and all the exits were closed. As usual, Mr. Holmes resolved the case in a twinkling of an eye and the jewel was recovered. I will not waste my time on the various explanations as to the disappearance. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. Whew. Because I would prefer to draw your attentions, dear readers, to the last surprising development in the case. Following the departure of Sherlock Holmes, who placed the necklace in the safe himself. The Marquis noticed that the jewel was nothing but a poor copy of the original. Let it not be forgotten that the Samoan necklace, although plain and without ornament, is unique because of the rarity of its pearls. Pearls which are found only in a small part of the lagoon of the archipelago of the same name. and to which scientists attribute their exceptional quality to the strong density of crystal of aragonite, I guess, that they are made of. The priceless necklace, oh my goodness, this is really long, brought here at the beginning of the century by Lord Fenton Arwick, the Marquis grandfather and the eminent explorer, should have been part of her daughter's dowry for her marriage to the Duke of Newcastle. So I am going to place one simple question. Should we not, in all open-mindedness, ask ourselves if the necklace was not simply and deliberately exchanged for fake by Mr. Holmes himself? I'm aware, dear readers, that the brutality of the question, without any preconceptions, may certainly shock some of you, but the facts are there, and thoughts and judgments should not be confused with the regard which we all share for the famous detective. It is not the first time that the Globe Explorer has expressed its reservations as to Sherlock Holmes' methods. Do not forget our counter-investigation into the escape of Arsène Lupin? Or would you say Arsène? Since technically he's a Frenchman. I don't know. The Frenchman who took malign pleasure in tarnishing the image of our royal family and who, by lucky chance, managed to elude capture by Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness! This is really long. I'm sorry, but I feel like it's important, so we're going to read it all. At the time, we did not hesitate to consider a tact complicity on the part of the latter. For those who are familiar with Mr. Holmes, it is quite apparent that his character traits show more of the opportunist and brilliant usurper than that of an altruistic defender of the law. I would draw the attention of our readers to the suggestion that the description of this gentleman provided by his friend Dr. John Watson through his stories is a long way from the truth. Indeed, his behavior is derisive, contemptuous, haughty, and offensive toward the police, and in particular towards Inspector Baines, by replacing Inspector Lestrade, who is currently convalescent, and a habitual abuser of narcotics such as heroin and cocaine. Okay, look, dude, we're gonna have some issues here if you're gonna badmouth Sherlock Holmes. Okay? You can't do that. This is why, dear readers, it is important to disregard Sherlock Holmes' good reputation in order to form an objective opinion and ask the pertinent questions. Was the necklace that Holmes already found a fake? If that's the case, why did he not mention it, and why should he insist on placing it within the safe himself? Has the detective some unsavory interest in this affair, or is it a simple case of deceit in order to steal the extraordinary Samoan Samoan necklace? Oops. I keep thinking about the diamond that they used to cut the safe open. It is up to you, dear readers, to form your own opinions, but you can count upon your humble servant to continue revealing to the public the doubtful methods and motivations of one who is in the future, I shall not hesitate to call Sherlock Holmes the usurper. To be continued, O. Farley. Okay, dude, I have some serious questions for you, because 1, why the hell would Sherlock Holmes steal the necklace if he was helping to find it in the first place? And 2, we know Sherlock Holmes wouldn't steal the necklace. I feel like it's got something to do with the Marquis's brother or husband or whoever the Marquis is. I don't know. But why would he not want to authenticate the necklace? That's my big question. Why did he not want to authenticate it, even though he said, no, I spent all this time looking at it? Who cares if you spent all that time looking at it? If you're not looking at it now, how do you know it's a real necklace? I'm sorry. I get very invested in mysteries. Very. I'm sorry. Okay? Don't judge me.
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
He's a jerk face.
Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines. The door's open.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors who avoids the second-to-last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that, Rag?
I'm not gonna slander him.
Inspector,
Necklace.
I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
We're not gonna slander. We're gonna keep talking about the necklace. Oh.
Inspector, I assume that you
Oh,
have
we
the
have to
fake
do
necklace
both?
with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to...
Can't that wait?
Okay. I guess we have to.
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
Apparently.
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
The necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes.
He did not
before
authenticate
Holmes returned
anything.
it to its place.
He didn't
Mr. Holmes,
expect
the
it.
Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any
Stupid.
case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Ow, hit my
Let's
knuckle on the
return to
table.
the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
What
Perhaps you are
matters
right,
in hand?
And the Marchioness.
Ooh.
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
Ooh, somebody don't want her to get married to
What a
him.
lovely marriage. Holmes, forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewelry?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector.
Be my guest.
Very well.
Okay.
What should we do next, Holmes?
What do you think, Holmes?
I guess we're going out the door.
I cannot leave now.
Well, what the heck? Oh, it's on the table. Oops. I did a stupid.
This pearl is a different color. These 3 pearls are of poor quality. This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here. Too many defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about
Oh, you see the
this?
bullet holes in the
I
wall?
have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector.
See, at least
You
the police
mentioned the
believe him
bishop,
instead of
didn't you?
being
We're going to his
not
home.
okay with it.
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
All right, Holmes.
Oh, we're controlling Watson. Alright, I'll take it. Okay. Let's go. Excuse me, why do I have no mouse? Turn around. Good grief. Why is the mouse not working? My mouse stopped working. Hold on. No, I have the arrow. Whatever. Guess we're going in here. Oh well. Well, actually, I think I'm going to leave this episode here, and we're going to pick up with what they've got going on in the next episode. Plus, I'm also having issues with the controls, so I'm not going to try to mess with that today. I'll worry about that next time. So, if you guys liked the video, hit the like button down below, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of the Sherlock Holmes story we've got unfolding. For your question of the day, what is your favorite iteration of Sherlock Holmes? Like, what's your favorite version of him that's been portrayed, whether it be in writing, in theaters, on TV, whatever? Who's your favorite Sherlock Holmes? So, let me know down in the comment section below. And that being said, this is TigerLily. Until next time, my lovelies. Bye!